Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Is anyone there? Oh, I know what happened. Speaker's not on.
Make sure the speaker on the phone is up.
Hare Krishna. I plugged in the wrong wires, sorry. There we go. Hare Krishna. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanand Guru Varga ki jai. Patik Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Vinu Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Raman Ju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Go Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So we're going to begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Sri Gauriya Giti Guccha, Vandeham Sri Guru. We did a kirtan earlier today, streaming on, I don't even know the name of the place. Chickens are a little bit confused. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutam Shri Guru Vaisnava Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Gunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanditaścha Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katari Sudaksham Odarya Madhurya Gunascha Yuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shirashan Namami Tridandiram Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Padam Jivataika Hriddi Chaitanya Leela Amrita Sarasaram Narayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Gaura Presthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti प्रज्ञानो केशवो युक्तिनामिने अतिमर्त्यचरित्राय स्वश्रितानां च पाणिने जीवदुःखे सदरताय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवर्षभारती देवी नैकाय कृपाब्धये कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञानोदयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वलप्रेमाख्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणि श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगम्यरूपासिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे पदम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्निष्ठा सजनप्रिय वैष्णवः सर्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतो पङ्गो मम मन्दमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदम्बोजो राधामदनमोहन दिव्यगृह्णारण्यकल्पद्रुमद श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीराधा श्रीरगोविन्ददेव प्रेष्ठादिभिः सेव्यमानः स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भी वंशिवत् ततस्थितः कर्षं मे स्वरगोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रेयस्तुनः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनं हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलं फलो नस्त्येव गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृपा बिंदु दिया। Page 32, Gurudeva. Gurudev, kripa bindu diya, koroi dase, apekhayo kripa bindu diya, koroi dase, apekhayo sakala sahane maladiya koro nijamare sriha hino sakala sahane maladiya koro nijamare sriha hino kripa Now we will call out for the grace and mercy of Vaishnavas. Thakur Vaishnavapada, page 38. Did you lock your door? Page 92, Nitai Gauranam. By Srila Lochan Das Thakur, Nitai, Nitai, Gauranam. Jai Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Amam Gauranga Bina Nahi Aar. Page 69. EMONA. There is no one like Gauranga. No other incarnation, past, present or future, has preached such a rare form of prema. He has not slain the very wicked or the fallen atheists. Instead, he has purified everyone's hearts by going from door to door, freely giving them the holy name. He has poured over the whole world the prema that is desired even by Shiva and Brahma. The destitute, upon receiving and drinking this prema, begin to dance and clap their hands with joy. Laughing and weeping, they roll upon the ground in prema, and the limbs of their bodies manifest horripilation. Even the chandalas, dog eaters, and Brahmins embrace one another. Oh, has there ever been such a wondrous spectacle? With calls and cries, with mridanga and kartals, he and his devotees sing and run hither and thither. Seeing this, Yamaraj, the Lord of Death, has become frightened and closed his door. Question? Where?
By C.K. Mai.
How far up?
It shouldn't be that far. You want me to read it?
Yeah, read it. But right after I finish this purport, this translation. The three worlds have become filled with bliss upon the auspicious uproar of Kirtan. Premananda Das laments, Oh, Rati, affection for that Gauranga has not appeared in my heart. Okay. What is the question?
Could you please explain why it is the lotus feet of the pure Vaishnava that one should meditate on, and not the eyes, the hands? What is the special reason, please, and why is it always mentioned lotus? Sudevi, you once told a story in France of the gopis which were walking in the dust of Vrindavan. It was so beautiful. Please, could you tell us again when sometime health is better?
So can we discuss that when we... I guess I can mention it a little bit since we were just talking about that. So why the Vaishnavas?
Also, David, you had a question from yesterday.
Okay. You'll have to prompt me with those. So why do we give so much emphasis to the Vaishnavas? Because Krishna himself says that they are his heart and soul. He resides within their hearts and he is completely captured by their love and affection. He feels himself completely dependent. In fact, he says to Durvasa Muni, Aham bhakta paradhina, I am not at all independent, I am dependent on my devotees. I only know my devotees and they only know me. So it is said, Govinda Kohena Mama Vaisnava Paran. Krishna himself, Govinda, is saying, my devotee is my life and soul. Those who say that they're my direct devotees, they're not really my direct devotees. But that person who is the devotee of my devotee, who is the devotee of my Vaishnava, they are my real devotee. So from this we can understand that the process of attaining to Krishna Bhakti is not by directly approaching Krishna, but it is by approaching those persons who have or who possess that Bhakti in their hearts for Krishna. Krishna doesn't possess Bhakti for himself. Maybe he does, but not the kind that we need to develop. Everything has come from Krishna. Srimati Radhika, all the gopis, all jivas, everything has come from Krishna. But his feeling for himself is based on his nature, which is Vishaya Tattva. He is the supreme enjoyer of everything. All others are in the category of Ashraya, to serve his transcendental enjoyment. So in the same way that it is said, Aham vedi sukho veti, vyaso veti na veti va. Lord Shiva is saying, I understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukadev Goswami understands Srimad Bhagavatam, but Vyas may or may not know. Interestingly enough, although he is the one who spoke it and Ganesh wrote it, still Lord Shiva is saying Vyas may or may not know. Why? Because Vyas is a direct incarnation of Krishna. Krishna Dvaipayan Ved Vyas. So Vyas being the incarnation of Krishna, because Krishna knows how to enjoy but doesn't quite understand the mood of serving, then he may not understand. Lord Shiva is known as Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, the greatest Vaishnava. Shukadev Goswami is, in Krishna Lila, the parrot of Srimati Radhika, Shri Ashuka. So he is able to witness and see, and he has the mood of a bhakta, so he can understand that mood of the bhakta. Srila Gurudev so often said, only someone who possesses something within their heart or possesses something can give that thing to you. If I only have $5, what can I give you? Only what I have. So only someone who possesses bhakti for Bhagavan can awaken bhakti for Bhagavan in the heart of another. The Supreme Lord, Krishna, does not possess bhakti for Bhagavan, unless he's coming in the form of Sri Sachinandan Gaurahari. This is a very special, magnanimous, most magnificent incarnation, because he's not just Krishna, but he is Krishna himself, Nomi Krishna Swarupam, desiring to taste the moods of the love and affection that Srimati Radhika has for Krishna. Because he is tasting Radha Bhav Advyuti Sivalitam, because he is tasting her moods of love and affection for Krishna, which is the mood of Ashray, or the servitor, then he is able to also awaken that prem in all others. Therefore, Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami has composed this beautiful prayer. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha. This special magnanimous avatar is non-different from Krishna himself, but imbued with the mood and sentiment of Srimati Radhika. He is giving or awakening Krishna Prem to the entire world, to the entire universe. Divine love of Krishna, because he is tasting that particular thing, what it is like to love Krishna. So the point has been made by our Guru Varga, and especially by our Gurudev, that only someone who has something can give that thing to you. So therefore Shastra says, Bhakta Sanjataya Bhakta, that bhakti manifests in relationship with the bhakta. So only by the potency of the bhakti of another devotee can our bhakti be awakened. Srila Rupa Goswami confirms this in Sri Upadeshamrita, verse 8, where he's saying, Tishtham Rajayatad Anuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayat Akilam Ityupadesha Saram. The essence of everything, Iti Upadesh, the essence of all instruction, is that we should do all of our activities in bhakti ceaselessly, 24 hours a day. But how? Under the guidance of Anuragi Jan, residing in Vrindavan. Anuragi Jan means that personality whose heart is overflowing with divine love for Krishna, as the Brajavasis love Krishna. This is Tad Anuragi Jan. And Anugami means to be under their guidance. So if we try to go directly to Krishna, that is not our process. Mahaprabhu has given the process, Gopi Bhaktu Padakamalayur Das Das Anudasaha, that my only identity is that I am the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna, who is the beloved of the gopis. So this process is very specific and particular. If we try to go directly to Krishna, it will be very difficult, if not impossible. But if we approach His near and dear devotees, seeing our suffering condition, we might not even realize it, but the fact that we are bound in this material world with this material consciousness, experiencing our material karmas due to whatever country we're born in or whatever form we're born in, we're experiencing suffering, the threefold miseries in so many ways. Adi-atmic, of the body, Adi-atmic, Adi-bautic, caused by other living entities. Adi-atmic means also of our own minds. And Adi-daivic. All of these we cannot help. Bautic means from other living entities, other people, other creatures, bacteria and viruses. Adi-atmic is my mind in my own body. Adi-bautic is other creatures and other things, other people. And Adi-daivic is misery, are miseries like earthquakes, floods, famines, hurricanes, tornadoes, you name it. Those things, fires, way beyond our control. They call it acts of God or acts of nature. This is beyond our control. We realize our insignificance when these things happen, how hopelessly weak we are. These are Adi-daivic miseries, and these are all coming according to our karmas. So from that, we need to depend upon the pure Vaishnava. The pure Vaishnava will see the nature of our suffering, and because they are made of Krishna's love and affection, they are made. They are in essence the embodiments of His mercy and compassion. Seeing our suffering condition, it is said that their hearts bleed. They cannot help themselves. How much compassion they feel toward us. And if we take shelter of them and hold on and beg them for mercy, for shelter, seeing our pitiful condition, Shunya Amara Dukkha Vaishnava Thakur Amalage Krishne Avedivena Prachur, they will petition the Lord Krishna profusely on our behalf. This is our hope. This is our shelter. And hearing their prayers, Vaishnavera Avedane, hearing the prayer of the Vaishnava who's petitioning on our behalf, Krishna Doyamoy, He will give His mercy. Eheno Kamar Prati Havena Sadoy. So we are really hopefully, always hopefully dependent upon the mercy of Krishna's pure devotees. And when Krishna sees that you are taking shelter of His devotee, His heart melts and His mercy automatically flows. I hope that was able to answer that question a little bit. And when Sudevi is feeling a little better, she will speak again about the foot dust of the gopis, as she has heard from our Srila Gurudev. Very beautiful pastime and lila. We have a question from Devaki yesterday, and a question from Shyam Prabhu yesterday.
I found Devaki's and I...
Okay, but we'll...
What's Devi?
So we'll deal more with questions after the bhajans, if it's okay with you?
I think you already answered the first one.
You okay?
But I sent the question to you.
Emon Gauranga Bina Nahi Ar. Page 69. EMONA Gauranga. Emon Gaurango Bina Nahi Ar. Gauranga Bina Nahi Ar. Gaurango Bina Nahi Ar. Just one more thing to add. I just looked down and noticed that you said, CK Mai said, thanks, you must always be under guidance. Srila Gurudev explained that bhakti, its nature, is that it must always be under guidance. It's the nature of bhakti. And we understand that also from the verse. It is confirmed in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that the birthplace of Krishna bhakti is sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha. And even after the attainment of perfection, Krishna prema janme tenho punamukya anga, the most essential thing is still sadhu sangha, associating with the devotees of Krishna. Even in our goal, our final aspiration, what is that? To become a Palyadasi, a maidservant of Srimati Radhika, in the group of the Lalita Sakhi, under the guidance of Sri Rupa Manjari. So guidance is still there, even in perfection, not in, within perfection. Still, guidance must be there. So this is the prime aspect of bhakti. There in the definition of bhakti, anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavirtam anukulyena krishnanushilaram bhaktirutama. Anu is there. Srila Gurudev and our Gaudiya Guru Varga have explained that this word anu also means anugatya, which means to be under guidance of a devotee. So this is actually the most essential thing. Even among the 5 limbs of bhakti that Mahaprabhu gave us, the condensed form, the first one mentioned is sadhu sangha, associating with Vaishnavas. But that means also to be under guidance. And if we start from there, then automatically all of the other principles of bhakti manifest. But without that main one, the other ones cannot manifest. So bhakti awakens according to the association of the bhaktas. This is how essential it is to be under guidance. Today I want to do a Sanskrit song for Krishna. Sanskrit would be Adharam Madhuram Vadanam Madhuram. Starting with A-D-H-A-R-A-M, Madhuram, page 293. Gurudeva That is page. Where is it? No, it's in here. 362. Hare Ram, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, गिरिराज महाराज की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। Question on my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp.
She said there's
Okay.
a screenshot. The screenshot to your WhatsApp. From yesterday, from Devaki Didi.
All right. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimiraandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namo Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Vinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandava Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Prabhishna Om Vishnupad Astottara Shata Shri Srimad Shri Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. In the same thousands of Dandava Pranam at the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Prabhishna Om Vishnupad Astottara Shata Shri Srimad Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga. And also my Dandava Pranam to all Vaishnavas, past, present and future, including those who are with us today. My Dandava Pranam. So I've received a question on my WhatsApp, and I've received another question on my Facebook. Who sent the question to my WhatsApp? Oh, okay. No, she didn't. It's not there. Okay. It's not there. Not yet. I did. She didn't send it via WhatsApp. Maybe she sent it via Facebook. She just didn't send it via WhatsApp. Okay. One thing that our Srila Gurudev impressed within our hearts is that the process of bhakti is not just ritual. In fact, he wanted us to break away from the idea that it is ritual. And he wanted us to understand the practicality of it. It's quite practical and it's quite natural.
Can I read Devaki's question to you?
Sure. Let me just, one second. It's quite practical and it's quite natural. Like how we call Gurudev to come when we're going to offer bhoga. First we call Gurudev as if your best friend has come from a distance when they first arrive at your house. Then you make sure that their hands are washed. You give them a nice seat. Maybe you wash their feet. You give them something to refresh themselves with. Then some more, how do you say? Seniors are coming, so Radha and Krishna are coming. And you treat them like that. They come to your house, you offer achman. So instead of just being a ritual, he didn't like that. He wanted us to have a deep understanding of everything we do on the path of bhakti. Okay, question please?
So this was Devaki Didi's from yesterday. How can someone who is not so learned and intelligent learn, remember, and know all tattva? Simple for the simple. How to reconcile this?
I just read a beautiful quote from Srila Prabhupada today. That's Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He was saying that by taking shelter of the process of bhakti, by taking shelter of the pure devotee, by serving the pure devotee, automatically all knowledge of the scriptures is revealed within the heart. And this is confirmed by so many verses from scripture. We can learn thousands of verses and we can learn all tattva and siddhanta and everything. And we could still be a demon, like Hiranyakashipu or Ravan. They were very expert in all Shastra, Vedas and everything, and they could argue it in so many ways. But they were also still demons. They were against the devotees of the Lord, and they wanted to kill God Himself, if possible. So just knowing all scriptures, just knowing all Shastra and all shloks, this is not enough. Even the qualification for Sri Guru, Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam Shabde Parechirishnatam Brahmanyupa Samashrayam. This is one shlok defining the qualification for Guru. The first one, Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. So he is well versed in all scripture and Shabde Parechirishnatam. He's able to remove all of your doubts through the medium of Shastra. This is qualification for Guru. However, this is not enough, because so many are well versed in Shastra and can also remove so many doubts. So this is not the real qualification for Guru. What is the real qualification? Brahmanyupa Samashrayam. They are completely surrendered to Parabrahma Shri Krishna. This is the quality that makes all other qualities have value. Just like we've heard that there are 26 qualities of a devotee mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Starting with Kripalu, Akrita Droha, Satya Sarasama Nidosha, Vadanya Mridu, Suchi, Akinchana. So, there's 26 qualities of a devotee there. When we were little, we were told in Gurukul that all of these qualities are like zeros. Many of the qualities you can find in sticks or stones. Always peaceful, not eating more than required, very humble, Right? Even we compare humility being more humble than a blade of grass. So a blade of grass appears to be very humble. So they always told us that all of these qualities were like zero, but one of those qualities gives the rest value. If you put a 1 in front of 25 zeros, you have a very large number. Something like 1 septillion. Something like the national debt of any country these days. So it's a very large number. You put the 1 in front of it, that is Krishnaika Sharana, one who is completely surrendered to Krishna. Then all of the qualities of the demigods, all of the best qualities that one can find in anyone are automatically manifest in that person. And we've seen many examples. Look at Srila Gaura Babaji Maharaj, the guru of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was one of the most brilliant minds in history. I mean, amazing. If you read anything from him, and every single sentence is complete in itself, and each one carries its own punch. It's amazing. Every time I read from him, I'm just gobsmacked. How brilliant is he? How everything is so powerful and succinct. And he was given the title of Siddhanta Saraswati at the age of 12 or 13 for being so brilliant in astrology and astronomy. He was given a permanent seat in the University of Calcutta for his brilliance. And he never sat there, but he was given that seat and it was reserved for him for his entire life. And yet, this same supremely intelligent personality took shelter of Srila Gaura Babaji Maharaj, who could not read even his own name or write. He was illiterate, and yet his heart was overflowing with bhakti rasa. His heart was overflowing with bhakti rasa. And by this is really the only qualification. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said, when I went to him, when I approached him, he told me that everything that I have collected, all of the knowledge, everything that I think I know, I should collect it and throw it in the ocean and then come back to him. He said, I was shocked that someone would consider everything, all of the knowledge that I have acquired to be absolutely useless, so much so that I should throw it in the ocean. And he said, at this point, he prayed deeply to Krishna that either this person is a farce or they are the real deal. And he was praying and begging to Krishna, from Krishna, to please give him guidance. And then he surrendered completely at the lotus feet of Srila Gaura Babaji Maharaj. But there's something amazing in this. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada realized that by the shock of the harsh words of his Gurudev, by that shock he was able to make a transformation. And he realized that unless others are similarly shocked, we also cannot be awakened from our material condition. We're like in a constant state of material heart attack, and we need that jolt to wake us up out of that. This is the material world. We're in a constant state of birth, disease, old age, and death, just revolving again and again in samsara. So many different kathas have been told in Shastra. Yasya deve parabhaktir yata deve tatagaro tasyaite katita hyarta prakashante mahatmana. One who sees Yasya deve parabhaktir yata deve tatagaro. One who has the same kind of love for Gurudev, the same kind of attachment and affection as they do for Krishna, because he's Sakshat Hari, he's Ashray Bhagavan, Krishna is Bishray Bhagavan. For that person who serves and worships Sri Guru like that, all knowledge of all the scriptures are automatically revealed in their heart. Prakashante. Automatically. And we've understood also from the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, I recited it the other day, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Surya, that all transcendental knowledge was manifested in his heart. simply through the process which was ordered to him, which was tappa. He only heard that word, tappa, tappa. Meant austerity. When he was born, he opened his eyes and all he could see was darkness all around. He became afraid. And then he heard that voice within his heart, tappa. He realized this meant to do austerity. So he began to meditate and do austerity. And from that, the Lord revealed everything within his heart. And we hear also within the bhajan, Shri Guru Charana Padma, Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashita, all transcendental knowledge. Divya Gyan means divine knowledge. Hriday Prakashita is manifested or awakened within the heart. How? Through Sadhu Sangha and Sadhu Seva, Vaisnava Seva, Guru Seva. There's one history of Sri Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya was a very, very prominent personality. He's actually an incarnation of Lord Shiva who was ordered by Vishnu himself to preach against the Vedas because people were abusing the Vedas. Actually, that was Buddha, who was the incarnation of the Lord, who decried the Vedas because people were abusing it. But then Shankaracharya was also instructed that he should preach something asach chatram, mayavaram asach chatram, something which is not directly in line with the Vedas. But it was a step because it's the Vedas but without the loving of God aspect. So it's some aspect of the Vedas but it's minus all of the beauty. So he was ordered by Vishnu to preach this. Although he did not want to, he had to follow this instruction. So he had many, many thousands of disciples. He was so powerful that by his preaching, he pushed Buddhism out of India. Because Buddhism was actually against the Vedas. So Shankar brought back the Vedas, but brought them in a not pure way. Asat chatram, says in Shastra. Asat means not pure or not true, Shastra. With the Mayavad theories. So he had thousands and thousands of disciples and big, big sannyasis and pandits that were so brilliant. They could quote thousands of shlokas and give explanations. And for each verse they would quote another 100 verses and another 100 for each of those. They were so brilliant and knowledgeable. So one day Shankaracharya was going to give katha and he was waiting. And they said, "Why are you waiting?" And he said, "Oh, there's one boy, he has not arrived yet. His name was, I believe, Govinda. And he was the menial servant of all of the others. So he would wash the clothes, he would clean up after everyone would eat, he would do all of the menial work, sweeping and everything like that. So he was still busy finishing washing the clothes. And Shankaracharya was waiting. And they said, "Why are you waiting? It's not important, he's a no one. You know, big sannyasis are here. When he comes, it'll be okay." And Shankaracharya said, "No, I will wait." And so he waited until this Govinda came. Govinda came, and then that moment, in front of everyone, Shankaracharya asked him, "Stand up and speak." And when he stood up and spoke, by the power of his Guru's mercy, he spoke such eloquent prayers, such high Sanskrit poetry, prose, that everyone else was completely shocked. Even they could not understand that level. By the mercy of Gurudev, he was able to do such a thing. And we see the same thing with Dhruva Maharaj. He was a 5-year-old boy. 5. When he went to the forest. He was very upset because his stepmother, Suruchi, she was quite harsh toward him. His father was King Uttanapad, and his grandfather was Brahma, Lord Brahma. So King Uttanapad had maybe many queens, but we know of 2. One, her name was Suniti, and the other, her name was Suruchi. So Suniti means one who is following all etiquettes, doing everything proper and perfectly. She's a proper Dharma Patni, Suniti. And Suruchi, Su means super, and Ruchi means taste. She was perhaps younger, maybe more beautiful. Anyhow, King Uttanapad was completely smitten with her. He spent all of his time with her, and he was completely controlled by her. So Dhruva Maharaj came into the throne room and he saw his stepbrother, his half-brother, sitting on the lap of his father. And he also wanted to sit on the other side, like his brother. But Suruchi said, "You are not qualified." She told this young boy Dhruva, "You are not qualified to sit on the lap of your father. Only if you take birth from my womb will you be qualified. So you should pray to the Supreme Lord," she told him. "And then you might gain the privilege of taking birth from my womb. Then you can sit on the lap of your father." And King Uttanapad, because he was completely controlled by her, was silent. And his silence was proof of his complicity. Again and again we see this throughout the Shastras. If some injustice is being done and one is silent, then they are considered complicit in that injustice. Sri Ram said the same thing about his father. "My father was also silent, being controlled by Kaikeyi. Because of his silence, I considered that he was also in agreement." So silence is complicity. So Dhruva Maharaj, because actually he was not Maharaj yet, he was Rajkumar, means prince, Dhruva. His father was Maharaj. Because he is a Kshatriya by nature, he became so upset and angered, as if stepped on by as if a snake is stepped on by someone. They become very upset. So he felt like that. He ran home to his mother Suniti, to her quarters, and he told her everything that happened. He was so angry and upset. And what could his mother say? She said, "I have no power here. Your father is smitten with her. Whatever she says he'll do, I have no power, no potency in this connection." But one thing your stepmother did say, and it's true, if you desire anything, akama sarvakamo va moksha karma udaradi, whatever you desire, if you pray to the Supreme Lord, then this desire will be fulfilled. So Dhruva immediately packed his bags, and one bag, I don't know, I always see with a stick in one little sack, he entered into the forest with the intention of seeing or finding the Lord. Because of its intense desperation to see the Lord's own pure devotee manifested to him, that is Narada Muni. And Narada Muni gave him instruction what he should do so that he can see the Lord. For Dhruva Maharaj, it was to chant a particular mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So he was praying to Srimad Narayan, or Vasudeva, the Lord in Vaikuntha. By the power of his austerity and penance, within a very short time, he stopped taking any fruits or roots. He even stopped taking water. Then he stopped taking air. And his austerities were so intense that the entire universe began to choke and then even heat up. I don't know if you've ever tried it. If you have a cold and you hold your breath, do some pranayama, your body starts to heat up from the core. Well, his austerities were so intense that the universe started to heat up from the core. And even the demigods were choking. So they petitioned the Lord, "Please help him." Srimad Narayan appeared in front of Dhruva Maharaj. Within 6 months, his austerities and his desire was so intense. But what happened? This young boy Dhruva, 5 years old, he saw Narayan. He was completely amazed. Completely amazed. But what does a 5-year-old boy know of shlokas? Okay, I learned Brahma Samhita when I was 5. But what does a 5-year-old boy know of shlokas and their meanings? He didn't know what to say. He just saw the Lord and realized at that moment that the most valuable gem is standing before me. And everything that I was praying for, what was he praying for? The highest, greatest material desire, to have a kingdom greater than that of his grandfather, Lord Brahma. This was his desire. He didn't want to sit on his father's lap anymore. He didn't even want what his grandfather had. He wanted the greatest material kingdom in all of this universe. He had the greatest material desire. But he couldn't even speak. He didn't know how to speak all of these things. At that moment, Srimad Narayan touched his head with his conch shell. And then, as if Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge and learning, was dancing on his tongue, he began offering so many beautiful prayers, the most essential of which was, now I've realized, after seeing you, that I have the most valuable diamond, the most valuable treasure in front of me, that everything else I was desiring was nothing more than pieces of broken glass or the husk of rice. Just the husk, empty husks. Means I was desiring nothing. Now that I had seen you, I realized that all of these material desires amount to absolutely nothing. But the point is, Srimad Narayan touched his head with a conch shell and immediately everything manifested in his heart. Also we hear from our Gurudev. He would tell different stories. One was of this one boy. His Gurudev noticed that the ashram was flooding, so he asked his disciple, go out and collect some wood and other things and make a dam to stop this water from flooding the ashram. So the boy went. He was searching here and there. He collected whatever he could and he tried to dam up the water from flooding the ashram. But he could not do so, and it was becoming late. He did not know what to do, but his Gurudev ordered him, stop the flooding to the ashram. So what did he do? He decided, I have no other capacity. Let me use my own body. It was also cold out. The water was touching him. It was late at night. So he remained there for a very long time, developing hypothermia. He began to turn blue. He was becoming very cold, very, very cold. But his Guru became worried for him. Where is my disciple? I sent him out so long ago. And the Guru had some mamata for his young disciple. So he went searching for him. Where is he? Where is he? Finally he found him in such a condition. What have you done? He picked him up and he embraced him. That you have given your own body. You were willing to sacrifice your own life for my service. And in that very moment, that Gurudev placed his hands on the head of that disciple, and all transcendental knowledge was revealed within his heart. This is the kind of transcendental knowledge we require, not the external knowledge. So many persons know so many verses. We can know so much, so many shlokas, so many tattvas, so many siddhantas. And yes, there should be an endeavor to try to learn these and understand these, because Gurudev has instructed that we should learn them. But if we don't have that capacity, if it's not very easy for us, there may be some other way. Gurudev said, especially for ladies. For those of you who want to try to learn all of the scriptures, good on you. For those of you who feel like, I just can't do it, it's too much, Gurudev said, for cooking and cleaning and sweeping and doing everything, but in a mood that I'm doing this in service and in love for Krishna. Your household duties, what you normally do, but just dovetailing it as service to Krishna. Change the mindset. Instead of being conscious of everything material, become conscious of Krishna. He said, just by that, all perfection can be had. The gopis, they never went to university. They never studied mathematics and everything else. They're not sitting in school learning all shloks and all the Sanskrit and meters and everything. They're simple village cowherd girls. But what do they have? Love for Krishna. And by that love, automatically everything is manifest in their heart. There's no need for them to do anything else. That love is the culmination of all of the greatest forms of learning. And we see the proof of this in Uddhava. When Uddhava came to Vrindavan on the order of Krishna to enter into the university of the gopis. Krishna was feeling lonely, that he had no one to speak with who understood the nature of his heart. So he sent Uddhava from Mathura. You should go to Vrindavan so you can understand what is going on with the gopis and how my heart is longing for them and how they are longing for me, so that I will have someone to discuss with, because you can't seem to understand. Our Gurudev, how often would he say that seeing the greatness of the love of the gopis, Uddhava was looking at the mountain of their prema And as he was looking up, he had to tilt his head back so far that his top hat would fall off. Imagine if you're wearing a hat and you have to tilt your head back so high to see the top of this mountain that your hat would fall off. And he realized, all of my knowledge, all of my learning, all of the shlokas, everything that I have within my capacity of all of this knowledge amounts to nothing compared to even one particle of the love of the gopis. So then he began to pray. Ashamaho charanenu jushamahunsham vandenanda brajestrinam padarenum avikshnasham. Let me take birth in Vrindavan as even a blade of grass, so that even one particle of dust from the feet of any gopi, any particular gopi, hopefully Srimati Radhika, will come onto my head. Because he knew so much, but that love, prema, trumped everything. So this is really the process. We can learn so many things on the outside, and I'm calling it the outside because if the heart is not melting for Krishna, then what is all that learning? It's all just knowledge. It's information. But information does not attract the heart of Krishna. What does Krishna say? Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. If one only has a little leaf, a flower, a fruit, or some water, but that's all they have, and they offer that with love and devotion, then I will accept that. If it is done with bhakti, yome bhaktya prayachati. When Krishna went to Hastinapur, the kingdom, at that time Duryodhana was in charge. Duryodhana invited him, come to my place, we will have lunch. And Krishna said, I'm not hungry. Why was Krishna not hungry? Why was Krishna not hungry? Because they had no devotion, no affection for Krishna's devotees. So even though Duryodhana had thousands of beautifully prepared preparations, probably the best chefs in the world, still Krishna was feeling no attraction to that whatsoever. He signaled to Vidura, I will come to your home. Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaja explained that immediately Vidura was making arrangements. He knew he didn't have anything at home, so he went to get something in the market. In the meantime, Krishna went to Vidura's house, and there the wife of Vidura, we call her Vidurani, was present. When Krishna arrived, she began weeping with tears of praying, feeling so much affection for Krishna, so much love and affection for Krishna. She had nothing to offer him except some bananas. It is said they weren't even ripe. But still she wanted to give him something. So she began peeling those bananas and offering Krishna what she thought was the banana. But actually it was the peel. But due to her praying, to her love and affection, she became like mad. She became confused and she wasn't aware of what she was doing, only so absorbed in the beauty of Krishna. Instead of giving him the banana, she was throwing the banana away and feeding him the peel. And he was accepting that with so much pleasure and happiness because of her love and affection. At that moment, Vidur came home and he said, oh my God, what are you doing? You're throwing away the banana and giving him the peel. And she was like, what? And Krishna said, oh, why have you stopped her? As she was giving to me before, this was the most wonderful, sweet nectar I've ever tasted. So Krishna is not attracted to all of the shlokas, all of the knowledge, all of the external. Srila Gurudev said, Krishna likes one tear more than thousands of words. We can say so many words, but one fragment of feeling from the heart, this is more attractive to Krishna. So yes, if we can learn these things, great. If it's too difficult, and we just, every time we try, it's just a struggle, and we just feel hopeless, and I can't do it, and I feel like it's a waste of time, then Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Srila Gurudev explained that when the gopis are sweeping, they're only singing Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. When they're taking care of any young children, they're only singing Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. When they're cooking or they're churning butter or massaging the feet of their husbands, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. When they're going to the well to collect water, whatever they are doing, they're completely absorbed in Krishna, His names, form, qualities and pastimes. No matter what they're doing. And this is perfection. So all of the other things naturally will manifest. By the grace of Guru, if we endeavor to serve Him, to please Him, and we take shelter of Sri Harinam. Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada said, you can study so many scriptures, but if it's too difficult, if it's too intense for you, then just take shelter of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. By this process, Cheto Darpanamarjanam, all of the anarthas will be cleansed. Bhava Mahadabhagni Nirvapanam, our sojourn through our material existence, this blazing forest fire that we have been experiencing will be extinguished. Shreya Kaila Bachandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam, we will feel cooled like millions of moons. And Vidya Badhu Jivanam. Vidya means knowledge. Badhu means wife. And Jivanam means the life. Vidya Badhu literally means that all divine knowledge of who I am in relationship with Krishna, all transcendental knowledge, when one comes to know Krishna, they will know everything. There is nothing that can be unknown to them. So, by this process, Anandam Buddhivardhanam, Anandam Buddhivardhanam, all kinds of transcendental nectar manifesting. So by this process of Harinam, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, everything will manifest. If we follow that process sincerely under the guidance of Krishna's pure devotees, taking shelter and direction from them and following the scientific process they have prescribed, then automatically all of this understanding will come. We've seen it so many times, so often, by the mercy of Guru. That's the verse I chant just before we begin class. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham mande Shri Gurum Dinatarina Paramananda Madhavam. Mukam karoti vachalam. So Shri Guru Dinatarana means by the mercy of Shri Guru. What is possible? Mukam karoti vachalam. A person who is dumb. Dumb means they do not have the ability to even speak. Vachalam. Can speak in amazing poetry. Pangum langayate girim. And someone who is lame, who has no legs, who cannot walk. By the mercy of Guru, they can cross over mountains. Yat kripatamaham mande. By the mercy of Shri Guru, I'm offering my pranam to Shri Gurudev, Shri Guru Dinatara, who is merciful, friend of the fallen. So this mood is essential for those who are aspiring to move forward on the path of bhakti. We are not dependent on our knowledge acquiring senses. We are dependent on the degree of submission, the degree of loyalty that we have to any pure Vaishnava. Only by this, only by that will everything be revealed. Transcendental knowledge will be revealed. Not just theoretical. Means it will become realized. We will understand it for real within our heart by their mercy. You can read Srimad Bhagavatam on your own. But Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita states that Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. It is the heart of Krishna. So when you're reading on your own, how can you understand? Because Krishna can only be understood by pure love and affection. What is the reservoir of love and affection for Krishna? That is the Vaishnava. So Chaitanya Charitamrita says, go to any Vaishnava, take shelter of that Vaishnava. Jaha Bhagavata Para Vaishnava, and read or study Srimad Bhagavatam under the expert guidance of that Vaishnava who understands the heart of Krishna and knows how to serve Krishna. Then you will understand the deep imports of Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, maybe not. Luckily, we have received so many commentaries from so many acharyas, but still, we can misunderstand or misconstrue, even missing one point, and we can lose the plot. Therefore, it is an imperative that somehow we take association of Vaishnavas so that we can focus, and they can correct us when we start to veer off. It's beneficial to have guidance. It's actually quite essential. That's what the purpose of Sadhu Sangha is, and Guru. Chaitya Guru is always speaking to us, Guru in the heart. But if we start following our path thinking Chaitya Guru is speaking to us, but maybe we've listened to our mind or something else, our ego, we might make a mistake. Then we come in front of Guru, Gurudev, I had this realization, this understanding. And he says, oh, I have not had that same understanding. You should adjust it like this. So there's confirmation from outside. So this is essential. By serving Sri Guru, first of all, pratamam tu gurum pujam. From this point, then everything will be successful. If we don't start from there, then anyata nishphala bhavet. Everything else will be rendered fruitless. There will be no proper outcome. Only knowledge of scripture is not enough. Only knowledge of shlokas is not enough. Even only chanting Hare Krishna is not enough. Because I may be chanting Nam Aparad. What is the result of my chanting with a heart full of material desires? What is the result of that? It will increase my desire for kanaka, for wealth, for kamani, material sense gratification, and pratishta, name, fame, position, power, adoration, all of these things. That's why it is imperative that we are under the guidance of any Vaishnava. Because they will take us away from our self-serving tendency and turn us toward the service of Krishna. By their association, by their sangha, Krishna Seva Vasanam is awakened within the heart. That means the desire or tendency to serve Krishna is awakened within the heart. And they keep us on that path. How? With the sword of transcendental knowledge. Vidyate hridaya grantis. Chidyante sarvashanshaya kshiyante chasa karmani drishta evatmanishpare. By that sword of transcendental knowledge, that's not my sword, it's their sword. They cut at all of our anarthas, all of our misunderstandings. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said, the duty of the sadhu is to cut our anarthas. Like sacrificial goats, he said. To cut the heads of our anarthas with the sword of strong language. Harsh language. That shock I was telling you about earlier. That shock is necessary. That strong language. Nonsense. Stupid mind. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Stop. Come this way. You're going to enter into hell. Don't do that. Very harsh. Sometimes yelling, sometimes chastising for our benefit. In the same way, if when my brother was really little, he stuck a spoon into the electric socket. Needless to say, he catapulted across the room and was in a lot of pain. So, if you see a baby going to do that thing, what are you going to do? You're going to scream, you're going to run, you're going to pull them away, you might hit them, knock them out of the way. Naturally. They don't understand, they're just like, let's do this. And anyone who understands the danger involved will willingly, maybe even create enough damage to maybe even break a finger as long as you stop them from dying. So Guru sometimes has to treat us harshly to wake us up from what is going to kill us. That's why Gurudev said that Guru is more than millions of mothers of this world. More than millions. Any parent out there, if you have a child, multiply your care, your concern, your love and affection times 1,000,000. Times 1,000,000. And then you can understand the compassion, the care, the melted heart, the concern, the love and affection that Guru has for us. And just that in itself should give us an endless burning hope. If they have that much care for me, then they won't just cast me away. They can't. Gurudev said Krishna cannot neglect even one jiva. Not even one. Huh? Doesn't matter how evil someone is on the outside, still Paramatma is always there. Maybe Krishna of Vrindavan will go far away, but Paramatma is there as a witness. And as one is coming closer to Krishna, then instead of Paramatma being in the heart, Guru will take the place of Paramatma in the heart, and then gradually our Ishtadev, Guru will begin clearing and making a beautiful place in our heart, so that one day, like a beautiful kunja inside of our heart, Radha and Krishna can be invited to come and perform their pastimes there. This is what Guru is doing for us. Nama Shreshtum Manamapi Shachip Pramatra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagrajamurupurim Maturim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pritikupraya Shri Gurum Natosmi. I am offering my pranam again and again to my Gurudev because he has given me relationship with all of these divine personalities and given me assurance of attainment of their mercy. Shri Guru, the Vaisnavas, Shri Rupa, Sanatan, our Goswamis, Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha and Krishna and all of their divine associates. Shri Radha Kund and Giriraj Maharaj. He has given me assurance of that. So we have something to hold on to. Gurudev said, hold on and don't let go. Never be hopeless. Don't be hopeless. Why? Because there's always a pure devotee present within this material world. Because that is the purpose of this material world. Jayavadharma explains in chapter 16, this expression of hopelessness was manifest, was shown there. And actually what was revealed there was quite amazing. The purpose of this material world, the entire cosmic manifestation, is because the Supreme Lord has the tendency to give mercy. It's part of His nature. Mercy needs a place to flow. Who needs His mercy? We do. But if that mercy is an eternal characteristic of the Lord, then the form or personification of His mercy is also an eternal reality. That eternal reality is known as Guru Tattva. A Tattva is a forever existing foundational principle of creation. Spiritual creation. Always existing. Guru Tattva. And Guru Tattva manifests in this world in the form of Sri Guru. Guru is one who appears in an infinity of forms to teach you, me, and all others. So we should always be hopeful. If any person takes shelter of Sri Guru, and they're in kindergarten, and they come to the first grade, and then Sri Guru steps out of their life, physically, it's not that we forget the mercy of that Guru, it's not that we forget them, but we still require more education. So then, another teacher steps in, the same essence, performing the same function, giving us the same nutrients and nourishment. In essence, a non-different manifestation. Or as our Srila Gurudev would always say, same wine, new bottle. Same substance in a different form. That is Guru. So many Shiksha Gurus may come. Many Shiksha Gurus may come to help us to progress from grade 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, all the way to perfection, to graduation. What is graduation? Prem. Real graduation is when we attain our perfection of loving relationship in divine service to Shri Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. And so many gurus will come, just like we've seen in the history of Gopkumar and going beyond Vaikuntha. I want to continue with going beyond Vaikuntha, but there was also another question. And that question was related to something which I spoke the other day about Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya versus Margata Vairagya. So Yukta Vairagya means transcendental renunciation. Yukta means to connect. And Vairagya means renunciation. But yesterday I spoke about Vairagya meaning Vairag, or special attachment. When your attraction, when your attachment for Krishna begins to develop by the grace of his pure devotees, by the grace of their association, then naturally everything else will become insignificant. Right? Ar kabe nitai chandar koruna hoibe sangsara vashanamor kabe tuchcha habe. When will Nityananda Prabhu give me his mercy? When that day will come, sangsara vashanamor kabe tuchcha habe. My entire material existence will be rendered insignificant, meaningless. Kabe tuchcha habe. And Srimad Bhagavatam says the same thing. Samashrita ye padapallava plavam mahatpada punya yasho murare bhavamadir vatsa padam 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 yad vipadam natesham. For one who is surrendered unto Krishna, Samashrita ye padapallava plavam, taken shelter of his lotus feet, mahatpada punya yasho murare, and served his pure devotees, the entire ocean of material existence, Bhavambudir Vatsa Padam Param Padam, the entire ocean of material existence will be made as small as the hoofprint of a calf. Vatsa means calf. Vatsa Padam means the hoofprint of a calf. All of the ocean of material existence will be like this. Padam padam yadvi padam natesham. This world is a place where there is danger at every step. And we see it more and more and more nowadays, especially. Now, the government of India is saying you may have to leave this country within a month and go back to your own country. And I'm thinking, I don't think I want to go back to the US right now. I want to stay in India. It's not safe for me to go back to the US. It's more dangerous there. Everything is peaceful here. So, in this world, there's danger at every step. At every step. We don't know when our last moment will be. But for one who surrenders unto Guru and Krishna, then the entire ocean of material existence is rendered insignificant. What does Guru want from us? How do we develop this Yukta Vairagya? First, by developing loyalty to Sri Guru. By associating with Vaishnavas who encourage us in our relationship with Sri Guru. That is their function. The function of Shiksha is to increase our faith in our Diksha Guru. Otherwise, I just read a quote from Prabhupada today, and I read a quote from Param Gurudev earlier, that if the Shiksha fails to instruct you in how to serve and please and increase your faith in your Diksha Guru, then they're not Shiksha Guru, actually they are demon. Param Gurudev says, not even a Vaishnava, they are demon. And I just read from Prabhupada today, they are demon. So demon doesn't mean pointed ears and fangs. Demon means they are stopping your progress on the path of bhakti to Krishna. This is demonic. It is called jiva hingsa, violence to the jiva. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada explained that killing someone is not considered violence to the jiva. Hurting someone is not considered violence to the jiva. Not to the jiva. To the body, yes, but not to the jiva. What is violence to the jiva? Jiva hingsa is, because the jiva is different from the body. What is violence to the jiva? To actively discourage someone from the path of bhakti, from the path of devotion to Krishna, which is the nature of all souls. To actively push someone away, to destroy their faith and push them far away. This is violence to the jiva. And another violence to the jiva is to have so much knowledge about Krishna, to have an understanding of Krishna and Krishna bhakti, and have the name of Krishna at our fingertips, on our tongues, but to avoid sharing it with those jivas who are suffering in the endless cycle of birth and death since time without beginning. It's quite a painful thought, really. That is also violence to the jiva. So coming back to my point, Yukta Vairagya, transcendental renunciation. It's not really renunciation. It's transcendental, deep, focused attraction on Krishna, by which automatically all of the other things of this material world are rendered insignificant. You will lose taste for all of that other stuff. It will become inconsequential, insignificant, to the point where you won't even know what someone is thinking or saying about you. Evam mritasva priyanam jata anurago drichachitta uchay asatyatoro ditirotikaya tyunmadamandritati lokabhya. All divine symptoms will be manifesting in your body due to the kirtan, due to shravan, due to glorifying Krishna. Tears will flow from your eyes, hairs will stand on end, all ashtasattvic bhavs will manifest, and you will be completely oblivious to what anyone has to say or think about you, or criticize you, or throw dust on you, or spit on you, or anything. You will be completely oblivious to all of that. You will be so absorbed in Krishna. And you will have no attraction whatsoever to this material world. The pure devotees does not exactly see this material world and the workings of this material world. Rather, they see their Ishtadev, in this case we'll say Krishna, present in everything and see his hand in everything. This is how the Uttam Vaishnava sees everything, from that perspective. So if we try to judge Uttam Vaishnava according to the level of, according to the perspective of Madhyam or Kanishta, we will be making a grave error because their perspective is different. If we try to measure a Madhyam according to the rules of Kanishta, or vice versa, if you try to superimpose the glories or the idea of Uttam onto Kanishta, this will also be a great offense. So, Srila Param Gurudev Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Rupa Goswami, all of our Guru Varga have explained that we should give Vaishnavas respect according to their respective levels of bhakti, devotion. And of course there's so many different instructions in there. So now we're coming to Markata Vairagya. Markat means market. Market Vairagya. So there's so many different ways of speaking about market Vairagya. Market Vairagya is otherwise known as false renunciation. False renunciation, Vairagya, does not mean that we have Vairag for Krishna, special deep attachment for Krishna. It means we have special deep attachment for Kanaka, Kamini and Pratishtha. So you can go into the market and you will see people dressed in rags. A couple weeks ago, and then before lockdown, I swear, every single time I would go out, the same little guy would come up to me. He would always run up to me. And there was no Radhe Radhe or anything. It would just be money, 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 money. Every single time. And if I would see him again throughout the day, 2 or 3 times, boom, money, 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 money. I couldn't even walk outside. I just went to get some vegetables at 7 in the morning. And he comes running, money. I was like, this is not, there's no Radhe Radhe or anything. He looks like a sadhu, looks like someone who's renounced, but only doing money bhajan. Money bhajan. So this is the kind of renunciation that you will see in the market. That's very different than the renunciation of Madhavendra Puri, who was sitting in a closed market afterward. Madhavendra Puri Pad was sitting there in the market, a closed market, away from everyone, doing his bhajan, remembering Krishna, not begging anything from anyone. He had a very special kind of vrat that he would not ask anyone for anything. Whatever would come to him, then he would accept. We call that Paramatma Prasad. The mercy of the Lord would manifest in some way in front of him. And really, this is representative of pure Shraddha, you can say. Shraddha, Shabde Vishwash Kohe, Sudrida Nishtoy, Krishna Bhakti Koile, Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. And if one engages in the process of bhakti, automatically all things that are required for our maintenance are presented. Krishna promises this in Bhagavad Gita, in that verse, I'm trying to remember right now. Ananyaschintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam bahamyaham. For one who has surrendered unto me, I will carry what they lack and I will preserve what they have, if their surrender is exclusive, one-pointed. So Madhavendra Puripad, he was like that. This is real, transcendental Vairagya. But in the market also you see, especially here in Vrindavan, so many monkeys are there. They are also very renounced. They don't have a home. they don't have money, they don't even have clothes. But they're always just looking for, well, they even forgot about fruities because it's been so long. They used to only barter with a mango drink called fruity. If any monkey will steal your glasses, then everyone will start screaming, fruity, fruity, fruity. Because they learned how to bargain with the most intoxicating sugar drink they could get. But always just searching how to steal something, how to steal bananas, always searching like this. Market vairagya. And always very lusty. So, market vairagya is unfavorable for bhakti. Yukta vairagya is favorable for bhakti. Yukta vairagya can only really manifest in the association of those who are truly vairagi, means those whose hearts are fully flowing toward Krishna. If we don't have that kind of association, then we will not know how to progress, how to move forward. So it is imperative that we are under guidance. If we cannot be physically under guidance, then at least under guidance from a distance. Like right now, it's lockdown. Many people, they cannot connect directly with their gurus, but their gurus are going online and giving classes. I've seen many videos. Their gurus are trying to give and are communicating with them, and they're able to help them. And also giving from in their heart. So, through that process also, maybe not directly. What is more important than direct seva is serving the heart of Sri Guru, Vishram Mena Gurur Seva. As Rupa Goswami served the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He established Mahaprabhu's inner heart's desire in this world, even though he was physically far away from Mahaprabhu. But how close was he to Mahaprabhu? He was as close as his own heart. He was able to dive deep into the heart of Mahaprabhu, although there was so much physical distance. As Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaja explained, physical proximity is not the barometer. It is a matter of the mood in the heart. Just like the lotus flower and the sun. There's so much distance between them, but the relationship is so close that the lotus flower blossoms upon the presence of the sun. Same with the night lotus and the moon, and the peacock and the monsoon rain cloud. When it begins to rumble and thunder, the peacock begins to dance. How close is their relationship? Even though there's so much physical distance, still, the mood in the heart is so intimate that there's that reaction. In the same way, if we're always endeavoring to hold tightly to the lotus feet of our Guru, always endeavoring to serve Sri Guru, always endeavoring to serve our Guru Varga, to follow their instructions, then Srila Gurudev said, if someone is always with me in serving, for sure my mercy is with them. But if they're far away, physically, but making an intense endeavor to follow my instructions, to serve, to apply the teachings which I've given into their life, what to speak of my mercy being there? My heart will melt and it will run to that person. So we have so much hope. Even if we're physically far away, if we're making that honest, intense endeavor, it will call, it will pull, it will draw the mercy of Guru to us. So we should never be hopeless. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Also today is Sudevi's birthday. Well, it's important. See, on a birthday, it's the day that someone has taken birth in the human form, and it's a reminder of that. And only from the human form can one endeavor for perfection. The human form is the root of bhajan, so it is actually a most blessed day for anyone, especially because of the opportunity that we are given. The opportunity that we're given. If we take advantage of that opportunity, then that is the most blessed thing. So, you may have seen Sudevi's petition on Facebook. She wrote in advance that my birthday is on June 14th and I'm begging for the Vaishnavas to please bless me with certain things. So if you can go to that post and see what she's asked for, if you can bless her with that, that would be the best thing that you can do. She's praying for Guru Nishta. She's praying for Gurudev to be pleased with her every endeavor, every thought, every word. She's praying for that mercy. And if you can assist her in that, that will be the perfection of her life. If even she's able to move even 1 inch closer, what to speak with all of your blessings, to run rapidly on the path of bhakti. So we can pray for her. We can pray for Gurudev to give her blessings. I don't know if you've seen that video when he's putting the flowers on her head. Almost every year she would be in a festival with Gurudev and her birthday would come. And he was blessing her, chanting the mantras, and he made a flower mohawk on her head with little pink flowers upside down. So he would always say, Mangalam Bhavatu, may all auspiciousness come to you. Krishna Bhaktir Bhavatu, we add Guru Nishta Bhavatu, may Guru Nishta come to you. Krishna Bhaktir Bhavatu, may Krishna Bhakti be manifest in your heart. Radha Dasyam Bhavatu, may you attain to that perfection of awakening realization of being the eternal maidservant to Srimati Radhika. And then Gurudev would always bless, may you be happy now, may you be happy from now into perfection, and may you be happy forever. So we can bless Sudevi with that, remembering how Srila Gurudev would also bless. So thank you all very much for your blessings in advance for her. The blessings of the Vaishnavas is the best thing that we could hope for.
Please bless me.
Gurudev ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai. Would you like to lead, Sudevi? No? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama पति पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय, राधा विनोद बिहारी की जय, राधा रमण की जय, गिरिराज महाराज की जय, हरे कृष्ण महाराष्ट्र की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्रीला गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। Thank you all very much for being with us today. We look forward to being with you tomorrow. Don't forget to give Sudevi her birthday blessings. She's begging for them. So we'll see you tomorrow. Dandavat pranam, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe.